Let's take you to the ICJ. The United Nations top court is beginning its second day of hearings to assess Israel's humanitarian obligations in the occupied Palestinian territories. Let's listen to submission.
It was initiated by Norway and supported overwhelmingly by member states. We make these submissions while Gaza is once again under a complete siege following Israel's breach of the ceasefire brokered by the United States, Qatar, and Egypt. Israel has also intensified its aggression against Palestinians in the West Bank. Israel is blocking food, water, and medicines, all of which are essential to life, from entering Gaza. As cited in this court yesterday, the United Nations Secretary General stated that Gaza is a killing field. He added, "Aid has dried up, the floodgates of horror have reopened." On 11th April, the UN Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights reported that Israel, and I quote, "appears to be inflicting on Palestinians in Gaza conditions of life increasingly incompatible with a continued existence as a group in Gaza." Palestinian NGOs and major aid groups have warned that Gaza is entering into famine and that, in their words, the humanitarian aid system is facing total collapse. This collapse is by design. Israel's Defense Minister, Israel Katz, said on 16th April 2025, and I quote, "Israel's policy is clear. No humanitarian aid is about to enter Gaza. There are no preparations to enable such aid." Under the world's watchful eye, Palestinians across the occupied Palestinian territories are being subjected to atrocity crimes, persecution, apartheid, and genocide. While we watch, the gaze of Palestinians is directed squarely at the international community and this court, whose advice is urgently being sought for the protection of their most fundamental rights, including the right to life. The scale of the harm inflicted on Palestinians by Israel was laid out in detail in oral submissions made yesterday. We wish to emphasize the impunity with which Israel is inflicting these harms. Israel continues to act with impunity as it does enjoy some form of exceptionalism from accountability to international law and norms. Conversely, any person or entity which seeks to hold Israel to account for its inhumane and unlawful actions is subjected to countermeasures and censure, from which the United Nations and this court has not been spared. In this context, the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestinian Refugees, UNRWA, which was established after the 1948 Nakba, is but one of Israel's latest casualties. UNRWA is being attacked in furtherance of Israel's goal to deny the inalienable right of return of Palestinian refugees, the restitution of their land, homes, and property appropriated since 1948, and to further its apartheid policies and practices. The attacks on UNRWA are also deliberately imperiling the existence of Palestinians as a group. Mr. President, members of the court, turning now to the court's jurisdiction, South Africa considers that the court's jurisdictional requirements have undoubtedly been met. In relation to judicial propriety, South Africa observes that the court had, in its 19th July 2024 advisory opinion, dispensed with the arguments raised by some states in this proceedings. The court held that the arguments did not constitute compelling reasons to decline to give the advisory opinion then. The same reasoning should apply now. In the interest of brevity, South Africa will not repeat the court's long-standing and clear jurisprudence on this aspect. Providing an advisory opinion does not require the court to prejudge elements relevant to the contentious proceedings.
Listening there to Zane Dongor, he's the South African representative addressing the International Court of Justice in The Hague as the world's top court begins its second day of hearings to assess Israel's humanitarian obligations in the occupied Palestinian territories. The UN's top court is listening to country submissions before making a ruling, which could take some weeks, even months. Let's speak to Rory Challand. He's also following these hearings for us in The Hague. Rory, South Africa has always been a strong supporter of Palestinians and has been very outspoken on what's happening in Gaza.